Hey everyone, Colin Kaepernick's attorney Eric Geragos is on CNN now, and he's making a very bold prediction right here.
Other client, after we had one of the hearings, that Eric would play, and just within the last 5 days, he's gotten a 3-year contract. And I'm going to make a bold prediction, although I've been wrong once before on this. I'm going to make a bold prediction that one of 3 teams picks him up. I mean,
Which 3 teams do you think will pick him up?
I think look, the natural would be if Cam Newton is out, then the natural place to be is to play with Eric in Carolina. I mean, can you imagine? And you've got an owner there.
They both were on the 49ers.
They were both on the 49ers. It's the Carolina
Panthers.
Very good. And Colin Kaepernick.
Testing my sports knowledge there.
I was testing.
So he wants to play in the NFL again.
He absolutely wants to play. He wants to compete at the highest level. I mean, this is a competitive young man. Sometimes, I told you before we got on the air, sometimes it's hard for me to remember. I have to kind of dial myself back. He's only 31 years old. This is not somebody who's over the hill. This is someone who's in his prime. You get smarter at that position, and he's wise beyond his years.
And a lot of people would say his actions speak louder than words, but he has been very silent. Help us understand what he was going through in these past couple of years.
I think there's a degree of frustration sometimes when you're getting attacked. I think he's very Gandhi-esque in terms of, and very much kind of, I take inspiration both from Martin Luther King and from others, takes inspiration in being able to channel things or bric-a-bracs that are thrown at him and being able to channel it and find a serenity. He's got a great support system around him. Nessa, who is his queen, as he would say, is wonderful, and she is a fighter like you would not believe it, a protector, a fierce protector. He's got Kat, and he's got Jeff, and my associate Ben. I mean, he's got a great support system around him. His parents are delightful. Rick and I talk with his dad on occasion, and I compliment him.
Have the president's attacks gotten to him?
No, on the contrary, I think. And, interestingly, we also started to talk about this. Interestingly, I think the bold move by Nike showed what I have at least anecdotally learned over the course of this. The president's attack was a hijacking of what Colin was doing. It was a perversion. It was really kind of gross. And what the president did was he was trying to take something and use it as a political issue. I think, based on what I've seen, that this was a divisive issue that was amplified by some of the things that we're seeing in the news, some of the things you report on, and we'll get to that. We'll get to that in the coming weeks. I think that what Nike showed was that isn't what America is, because, and this was the discussion that we had with Nike. I will bet you that if you come and use him as a campaign spokesperson, you're going to see, and internally I think Nike understood this and should be commended for it. They understood he speaks to what's best of America, and sure enough, it happened. I mean, for all the naysayers in the first 2 hours after that ad came out, Nike acquired about $8 billion worth of value virtually as the campaign rolled out. Nike's doing very well. His stuff sells out immediately. There is an appetite
and obviously he's getting paid through that sponsorship, but I'm curious because you say he wants to play in the NFL. He opted out of his contract with the San Francisco 49ers following the 2016 season. Has he been offered any contract in the NFL, even if he thought it was below market value?
Okay, some of the great urban legends and urban myths about Colin is that he opted out. What he did, technically true, but the GM in San Francisco had sat down with him and had the conversation. I mean, I think at some point San Francisco was appreciative of what he had done. He took them to the Super Bowl. There's only, in the last 5 years, 7 years, 8 years, how many quarterbacks have gone to the Super Bowl? You take Tom Brady out, it's probably only 7 other guys. He's one of them. That's a very small community. They told him, we're going to go in another direction, and yes, then he opted out rather than get cut. Tested the market. Seattle was probably the only place that talked to him. Other than that, no. And that was kind of the frustration with what was going on. I think the issue was hijacked by the president. I think that people kind of cowered in the face of that. And I think ultimately, at the end of the day, there was a brave voice brave 2 or 3 voices in various spots that said, no, America is better than this, and we're going to do the right thing. I think you're going to see. I'll make the bold prediction. You can save the tape. I think you're going to see within the next 2 weeks that somebody's going to step up. Somebody's going to do the right thing. You want me to predict who? I will tell you. Besides the Panthers, it would not surprise me if Bob Kraft makes a move.
Yeah?
Yeah, that would not surprise me. And it would not surprise me if his former coach, I'll test your knowledge, also makes a move.
I don't know that one off the top of my head, and I got to wrap it from here. Thank you, Mark Geragos. Really appreciate you staying with us. I know you're going to stick with me through the break to discuss the Jussie Smollett case. When we come back, our breaking news: Jussie Smollett, the star of the popular
anyway,
show
we will
Empire, may have orchestrated the attack.
I'll come back to that, folks. That's another burning issue, but you heard it here first. Colin Kaepernick is aiming to play in the NFL this season, perhaps for the Carolina Panthers or one of two other teams that Mark Geragos did not mention, but I think he has some knowledge of. And it would be nice if one of those was the Raiders. But more on this soon. But please subscribe to Zenny62 on YouTube.